So, John, welcome to our interview. We just talked about since when you have been in business, and you told me you started at 12. Could you give more details, please?
So when I was 12, I would sell candy to the other kids. All these kids were really rich, and I was the poor kid. My father was a house builder, and so I would buy a case of these candies, these chewy things, and I'd buy them for 5 cents and sell them for 25 cents to all the kids.
Oh, and you must have been very successful because now you are so experienced that you can give us some real good hints on setting up a business online.
Yeah, my hint is find really rich people who don't care about paying too much. That's really good. If you can find that, you're set. Failing that, I mean, the YouTube model is interesting of doing something that's very, very compelling, but completely illegal, and try to grow it really, really fast before you get sued to death.
Okay.
Right, and then sell to Google. And I think this is a good business model. It's hard to do. But what I've learned, let's say in Europe, which has been a real problem, is I thought if I just translated my website into many languages, I would get users from all over the world. But what happens is the Frenchman goes onto my website and he goes, "Mais mon Dieu, il y a des livres en anglais ici. There are books in English here. I don't want to be here. There's English books. This is not a site for me." So even though there are thousands of books in French, they see books in English, they think this is not for me. And there was a presentation yesterday that said this really, really well. This is Netlog, that he set up every site completely separately, so every country, every geographic distribution. So, for example, the Germans don't have to hear any Swiss German because they don't really do good German. And this is a lesson I learned. Unfortunately, I hadn't heard him before, so I learned it much more painfully. Yeah.
And what about the business models? I mean, pay per click, pay via PayPal. What are your experiences? I mean, you just gave an example that you have a book system. Could you give us more details about that?
Well, so before I did the book thing, I had a music website, and I still have this, and I was very good at getting a lot of press. So I was all over Newsweek and USA Today and also Die Zeit and Heise, and thousands of people knew my face, and I was on all these boards, and lots of people came to my website and bought nothing. So what I found is being really, really famous and having lots of visitors doesn't do anything for you unless you have something that really makes them want to part with money. And there are not a lot of things like that. And, you know, largely my Magnitude business hasn't been that successful. It's only 4 people now after 4 years. And I know it's nice. I feel okay. There's some classical artists, but it didn't work out. And that's because I didn't have what they wanted, what people wanted. So I found out what people want is they want free. And free is good. And so even better, free without even the company getting in the way. So with the site Buckman, you go to it and you can send a book to someone else, another person who wants a book. And for every book you send, you get a book from someone else. So there's no revenue model at all. Okay. The revenue model is get really big, really anger Amazon because you're stealing all their business, and sell to them really fast. And we'll see if that works out.
Are you already in plans of selling to Amazon?
Well, so I presented to Amazon 3 times so far. The first 2 people ran out of the room because they hated my idea and they didn't want to ever have heard of it. The third person thought it was really great and said, "If this works out, we're going to buy you." So I was really excited. And then 3 months later, he was fired.
Oh, that's a tragic way. But you're still on a good way. Do you have any new project in mind?
No, I think 1 project every year is enough.
Thank you very much for joining us here and giving us such important information, because I think it is quite important to see that not every business needs to be a big success. And I think the most worthwhile thing you have is your knowledge and your experience.
Well, and having fun and a good life while you do it.
Thank you very much for joining us, John.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you. Bye.